Ma'am, I don't understand clauses. Could you please teach clauses? Now, this is one of the most frequent questions that I get from my students. And my answer? If in so many years you haven't learned what a clause is, now is not the time to learn. But ma'am, they ask clauses in the CTET. That's true. They may be, but for that 1 mark, just take a guess and move on. From this interaction, you might think that I'm very dismissive about grammar. That's not true. My focus is not to teach grammar. My focus is on creating a strategy to clear the CTET. And thinking that learning grammar is the sole way to crack the CTET section, especially the language section, is not going to work at all. That is not the right approach. In this video, I will be talking about 2 key points: how much grammar to study and what are the key topics that you should focus on. And no, clauses is not one of them. I am Dr. Swasti Dhar and I mentor teachers and trainee teachers to clear the CTET in their first attempt through my self-paced courses, along with 3 months of interaction just before the exams. Clearing the CTET requires a lot of preparation and strategy, and nowhere is that strategy more important than in the 60 marks of the language section, L1 and L2, especially when it involves preparing for grammar. Let's begin. As you would have seen in video 3 of the series, grammar questions contribute 5 to 6 marks each in L1 and L2. So combined, if you take L1 and L2, this becomes 10 to 12 marks of grammar. So you can break down the language section into these 3 parts. So pedagogy is 30 marks, comprehension-based questions is 18 to 20 marks, and grammar-based questions is 10 to 12 marks. Since grammar accounts for only 1/6 of the language paper, L1, L2 combined, that is how much you should do. Don't overdo it. Now for both English and Hindi, here are some key topics that you must focus on. Parts of speech, so take up at the class 7 level and you should be able to identify all the 8 parts of speech: noun, pronouns, verb, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions and interjections. You should be able to identify it in English as well as in Hindi. तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि संज्ञा क्या है, सर्वनाम क्या है, क्रिया विशेषण क्या है. Basics आपको आने चाहिए. Pick up any school grammar book and go through this and revise it. The next is synonyms and antonyms. Now these words are often taken from the text, so being able to understand them in context is also a very helpful clue. You can consider it a part of grammar. You can also consider it a part of the comprehension passage part itself. You will not be getting words from outside the passage and them asking you for the synonyms or antonyms. Whatever word is taken, जो भी शब्द वो लोग लेंगे वो उसी पैसेज से लेके ही आपको पूछेंगे. इसलिए बाहर से कोई शब्द आने नहीं वाला है. आपको अगर पैसेज समझ आ गया है, if you've understood the passage, then you should be able to at least choose the correct option. Now homonyms, these are unique to English and it includes both homophones and homographs. This is something I do teach in my language course. And prefixes and suffixes. In Hindi it's called upsarg और प्रत्यय. Basic जो prefix और suffix आते हैं, you should be able to identify which is the prefix and which is the suffix. Apart from that, for Hindi, whether it is L1 or L2, you need to do sandhi, samas and the tatsam tadbhav words. And whichever is your L1, whether it's English or Hindi, you need to do your figures of speech. In Hindi it's called alankar. You can leave out alankar if Hindi is going to be your L2, but whatever is your L1, you should know your figures of speech, like your similes, metaphors, that's in English, and you have your upma alankar, rupaka alankar, you should know those in Hindi. I'm just working with English and Hindi as the 2 languages here. If you don't have access to a mentor and you're planning to study on your own, then the best resource that you can have are the NCERT textbooks or the NCERT grammar books. There are many available online, but whichever resource you take, verify the authenticity of the resource. Don't just pick up any book and start revising, and therefore don't either overdo or underdo the topic. You should do just as much is needed. Reading and picking up unseen passages and reading them, in fact, would be one of the best things that you can do in preparation for both L1 and L2. In my language course, I have curated videos, quizzes and worksheets to ensure that all these concepts are thoroughly understood and practiced. This course is a part of my CTET Success Blueprint package, although it is also available as a standalone course. So remember, grammar constitutes about 10 to 12 marks out of the entire L1 and L2, so that's 10 to 12 marks out of 60 marks. And you need to focus on the essential grammar topics and not waste time on irrelevant and not asked topics such as clauses. Maybe one question might come from there. And you need to balance your study and preparation for pedagogy and comprehension, because pedagogy also accounts for 30 out of the 60 marks. And I have seen many students completely ignore language pedagogy and hope that the CDP that they have studied for compensates for this pedagogy. In the next video, we will dive deep into the pedagogy of language so that your study of the language section is complete. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel and share this with any other teacher who might need this information. For daily tips and updates, join my WhatsApp group, the CTET preparation group, or follow me on Instagram at Learn with Swasti. I'll see you in the next and the final video. Bye.